Ryan with Miss.Geek here, and in this video, we're gonna go over our winter project roundup and some other things. I've received some really kind donations to the channel that I'm going to talk about a little bit. I'm not going to go into deep detail because there'll just be too much. But I'll show you some things that some viewers like yourself have sent in, maybe even you, and if that's you, thank you. You know who you are. I think most of you have asked to remain anonymous. If you'd like credit, please let me know. Email me. I'll be happy to give you credit where credit is due. But most people want to stay anonymous, and I respect that. Putting your name out on the internet isn't necessarily a thing everybody wants to do. Some of it has to do with the experience by experiments that I did, I think last year, I think it's last year, with the variable capacitor using PCB, just blank PCBs, which was really a lot of fun. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Pretty informative. I learned a lot by that. And that's the whole point with experience by experiments. You experiment with things and you learn from them. So definitely received some support for that, and for perhaps more videos in that same topic. In fact, I might be doing a whole series called Experience by Experiments. I've been wanting to, but now I've got some impetus to do it. So the main thing here with this video is I'm going to show you my winter project roundup. And it's basically just what's on my bench and what isn't on my bench yet, and what is going to be on my bench. Today is probably the first day, I think, in Washington that we've had a lot of rain for a few months. It's Washington, it rains and it kind of mists in the morning and stuff, but we're getting a real rain today. So it's time to come inside and spend some time in the shack and have justification for staying indoors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount my camera, aka my phone, so you can see my bench, and I'll just kind of parade things through and show you what's going on. Before I actually do that, I wanted to show you real quick the setup I've got here. Earlier this year, I built the bench top here, and that has worked out really well. I've got my SIGGEN on it, my scope, my FT140, the TS140S, sorry, here. I've got some wires sitting up here and some other things that I've collected. I've also got my monitor here, currently running JS8 call in zombie mode, so to speak, and my tuner and my 30 amp power supply. By the way, the tuner and 30 amp power supply were given to me. I didn't actually purchase those. Same as the TS140S. In fact, come to think of it, everything on this top shelf, except for like the other things, all the big stuff on this top shelf was given to me. They were all gifts. I think I paid shipping for these two, but these were given to me. Even the monitor I probably got for free because being a computer guy for a lot of years, I picked up a lot of used stuff. In fact, even this was given to me by another friend. Even that, just most of the stuff I have was really either gotten free by just picking it up for nothing or being given to me. So I've been a recipient of a lot of kindness, and that's kind of what this video is about in a lot of ways, and you'll see as I go along here. Even this camera mount here that I'm using to mount my phone, this phone mount, was given to me by my mother-in-law. Now, this was given to me, this idea was given to me in a video, and I think it was, I can't remember what video it was. It might have been an Adam Savage video where he had a bunch of magnets holding things. So used for hard drive magnets, holding these the screwdrivers that are constantly getting lost. So in fact, looking at things that are given to me, even this really awesome notebook that I have with Abraham Lincoln fighting a T-Rex was given to me from a conference a few years ago that I went to. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the meat of it here. Real quick, before I mount the phone, this is the BitX40 rebuild project. And before I start any other big projects, this one needs to get finished. I need to get this off my bench, and I've got a couple of enclosure ideas for it that I got to see what's possible. My goal is to put it where the TS140S is and then retire the TS140S. It's not working correctly. I'm probably going to pay it forward, and I've got somebody in mind who might like this to repair and use. It's been wonderful to me. I love this transceiver, but I'm not like it doesn't work quite right anymore. And so rather than dive into servicing commercial gear, I'm going to be focusing on homebrew and QRP. So I have somebody in mind that I'd like to send that to, and when that time comes, I will let them know. They've been a long-time supporter of my exploits and of the channel. So one of the things that I've got to do here is, well, I've got my filters. There's a 10 meter or a 15 meter filter here. These are the low pass 15, 20, and 40. That 15 is going to get replaced by a 10 meter low pass. And then I have a 10 meter band pass and a 15 meter band pass for the band pass boards. So 15 and 10 will go here. And I've got to build those. The most difficult thing about building those is not actually building them, it's tuning them. Now, tuning isn't that hard, but getting it accurate can be troublesome. I've shown some videos where I've used my MFJ antenna tuner and running that through these and hooking up a 50 ohm load on the opposite side of the filter to tune the filter, and that works. But it'd be kind of nice to be able to have a visual display of how the filter looks, and that's what I'm going to show next. So again, the trouble with these isn't making them. They're actually just a few parts that you solder in. You do have to wind the toroids, but some people get intimidated by winding toroids. I honestly think they're really easy. And that's coming from somebody who has never done them until I started building these. I had never wound a toroid until I built a 40 meter bandpass filter, or I think it's an 80 meter bandpass filter from QRP Labs for my early BitX experiments from a few years ago. But tuning them, you can do it by ear, by listening to the band and that kind of thing, which does work. That's what Hans recommends in the instructions, and that really works. You don't have to have any expensive test gear. In fact, you don't have to have anything but a receiver so that you can listen to the filter and listen to its band, where its bandpass is. You can hear the difference when the bandpass is open or closed just by tuning the capacitors. And you can see I've hot glued these. Like when they're done, I hot glue them so they don't move around and they're safe. But a YouTube subscriber contacted me recently and said, "Hey Ryan, I love your channel. I want to send you some stuff." And I'm like, okay, I didn't know what he had in mind. But I received a few things, and I'm just gonna get straight to it here. This is direct related here. This is a Nano VNA H4, which I have yet to use. So I've been looking at the Nano VNAs, but because my channel is basically do what you can with what you have, I didn't make the purchase and go out and get one. I mean, I've got my my multimeter here, which is still kicking, doing well. I've got my network, or my antenna analyzer that does a lot. I've got my scope, the signal generator that I really haven't touched yet. I've got all these things, and I'm thinking, oh, I should be able to do everything I need to with those. But this, I have to admit, is pretty amazing. And so what I'm going to be doing, I just picked up, let me see if I can't find them. I just picked up some SMA connectors for PCBs. I think I got 10 of these in a pack for about $8 on Amazon. And yeah, 10 pieces. And I'm going to combine those with one of these boards and some other parts to make a mount for the QRP Labs filters, so that I can tune the filters directly on the Nano VNA. So thank you to the person who donated this. That is frankly an incredible thing that I never would have conceived when I started this channel, that somebody would just send me stuff. but this year there's been a lot of outpouring of donations, including the like I said, the oscilloscope and the signal generator. I think, like I said, I had to pay shipping on them, but that was negligible compared to what they were. So many thanks to everyone who has helped my channel out. And comments, just subscribing and comments, that stuff helps. I don't need donations. I'm grateful for them, don't get me wrong, but this is not a plea for donations. I don't want it to be misconstrued that way in the least bit, because it's definitely not that. However, you know, I am very, very grateful. So the same person who donated this also donated some other things. And that is this box of QRP homebrew goodies. Let me readjust the cam here just a little bit. And get some better lighting in here. Oops, sorry. Try to get some better lighting. But I mean, there's huge amounts of resistors and transistors and all sorts of passives and active components. Some NE602s in here, which are kind of unobtainium as far as I understand. Lots of RF connectors, which is extremely helpful. A whole lot of toroids and magnet wire. Basically everything you can want. I think these are NE602s, or let's see, let me use my magnifier here. Yeah, SA602s here. So a grip of those. Gosh, just some, looks like some 100 ohm, was it 2-watt resistors? I mean, a bunch of 10-turn pots and potentiometers and various knobby thingies, more potential. I mean, there's just so much in here, including one of the things that I just was blown away by. I mean, I'm blown away by all of it, don't get me wrong. There's just so much in here that I can't even, it would take a half-hour video to go through and quantify everything that's in here. But I mean, there's knobs, there's just, gosh, there's a bunch of PCBs, bare printed circuit boards at the bottom. And then there's this 2-gang variable capacitor, 2-365, which I'm guessing is 365 picofarad on 2 gangs, or maybe it's 365 each. I don't know. I gotta test it, but I mean, come on, that's vintage, amazing, beautiful. Thank you, genuinely thank you. And so that's it for this box, but this isn't the only box I've received, and I've been holding off doing this video because I've had other things come in as well. And this isn't all from this box, and if I have misassigned which came from who, I apologize. A number of things have come in. Let me grab another box here. So here's another box, another ham who was, you know, basically kind of winding down a little bit. In fact, the person who sent the last one, they moved into a place where they can't really build anymore, and they don't have the eyesight for it, and so they wanted to pass that on to somebody who could use it, and I'm just so grateful. And if you want to if you hang around to the end of the video, or if you want to skip to the end of the video, I want to tell you all a story that one of the reasons this stuff all means a lot to me. I'm going to tell you a story about experience I had when I was a young person that I feel like this stuff kind of offers me a little bit of redemption to something that happened that I couldn't control. So I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But there's a ton of passives, lots and lots of passives, knobs, couple of assemblies that I haven't really identified. Lots of capacitors, like really big capacitors, and I'm not sure what to do with those. I'm sure those are useful probably for tube stuff, I'm guessing, and I don't do tube stuff, so I could use some suggestions as to what to do with those. Lots of bare PCB material, a bunch of Toco inductors, and just passives upon passives, just tons and tons of stuff here. More magnet wire, just a lot. Another beautiful, beautiful heli pot here, 10-turn pot, I believe. So just thank you. And I haven't even touched on everything, I don't think. There's this box of stuff, which, I mean, there's enough homebrewing supplies in here to keep me going for years in between these. But that's not all. But wait, there's more. There's some projects that I have got on my own coming up, but others have also sent me some projects, and I'm trying to look over here in my stoof. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, so earlier this year I bought this MicroBitX, and this MicroBitX came with the in-kits case and everything. Unfortunately, it was kind of floating loose in here during shipping, and one of the toroids was broken. So somewhere in here, I fixed one of the toroids. I think it was right here. I think it was this one. Was the wire was broken, so I fixed that. And so one of my projects is going to be to build this. He also included a couple of Mitsubishi RD16 HVF1s, I think, to replace the IRF 510s. So I'll probably do that and get that wired. But this same fellow also included, when he saw who was buying the stuff and he'd seen the channel, also included this. Let's see where it is. Include some other kits. This doesn't look like much, except, I don't know where to go. I have to find, oh yeah, here it is. Here's the printed circuit board. This is a 7 megahertz, I think it's a direct conversion receiver kit, I believe, that comes out of, I want to say Thailand or Indonesia. And I found the plans for it online. I actually emailed the guy who sells it, and he sent me the English PDF of the instructions for this and the schematic and everything. So I've got this to build, a nice little 40-meter direct conversion receiver kit. I've got, oh, this is actually my own. I'll save that for here in a minute. This is a op-amp function generator kit. So I'll probably build this and just kind of show that. It's based on the LM348 op-amp. And another kit, which I'm not sure what this is. I think this might be a keyer, like an audible keyer. I believe that's what it is. So we'll dive into that. That's one of the projects to do. I've got so much. I've got that BitX to do yet. The MicroBitX, and I bought that because, you know, I don't know if it's been apparent on the channel or on my website. I'm not actually a fan of the MicroBitX. I'm not against it, but it has been prone to both feature creep and also kind of some of the early versions had some engineering problems, spurious emissions, and they don't work that really well past, I think 15 meters. Yeah, here a 49er, 3-watt. I think this one's pre-built. I haven't even checked this out. 7023 fixed frequency transmit receive. I've somewhere got a 7030 and or 7040 crystal I can pop in here. So that'll be a project. Oh, and the same person who gave me the oscilloscope and SIGGEN passed on this original old school BitX40. You can tell because it has the capacitor for the LC circuit. So when you switch these to digital, all you have to do is cut out L4 here, and that deactivates the LC circuit for the VFO or the VXO. And so you don't have to connect the VXO here anymore, the potentiometer, but you can run the digital through it. So it's got no VFO right now, but I can make a VFO for it. That's not too big of a deal. So this is gonna be another project, and I've got to decide what I want to do with this. Do I want to convert it to another band? Do I want to leave it at 40 meters and just use it for voice? That's something that I've been thinking about doing. But I've got this, and of course I have the lid for it here. It's a quite beautiful, I think this is a Hammond case. I can't be sure. Somewhere I thought I saw it said what kind of case it was. Got stuff falling out. But anyway, but that's going to be a project to do. And also from InKits, it came with the BitX. The BitX that I bought, the Micro BitX, was an InKit, the QRP kit enclosure from, I want to say InKits. I'm almost positive it's from InKits. So it comes with the PCB, a bare PCB, and a bunch of stuff for that. So that's really cool. Definitely going to build something into this. I have no idea what yet, but it's going to get used. I promise that. Oops. And I think that's it for now. That's the stuff I have. Oh, so here's the other one. This is a QRP Guys. I believe it's QRP Guys, isn't it? KD1 JV Designs. Should say on it here somewhere. Yeah, QRPguys.com. Power SWR dummy load. So this is a Arduino based, I believe. Although I don't see. Yeah, there it is. This is Arduino based. Or microcontroller based. I shouldn't say Arduino. It's a microcontroller based. I'm pretty sure it's not a Atmega 328, but it's a microcontroller based SWR and power meter. So that'll be really nice. I actually picked this up myself. This came out just earlier this year, and I have yet to build it. But I've been wanting something like this for portable use, without being able to have it in line with my antenna would be really nice. So I don't have to disconnect my antenna, hook up to my analyzer. Hopefully I can take this and maybe even recase my handy dandy LC tuner and put it all together and have a complete digital tuning little setup there for all your tuning and power measurement needs. So I think I have covered everything that I've got planned. I also have a big trip coming up next year that I'm going to be preparing for. I might document some of that on this channel. I also have another channel called Square Bourbon. It's like Suburban, but Square Bourbon. I might launch that channel with some content there. So if you want to check that out, I have I've featured the truck before here. It's my 88 Suburban. I'm going to be taking a trip from Washington down to Northern Nevada, and I'm going to be doing a lot of it, or at least every day, off-road somewhere, camping, and I'm going to spend probably about a week or more doing that. So I'll be working on that project too, which is going to involve some radio stuff. I'm going to do some stuff I normally wouldn't, which is install a 2-meter, it's a Yaesu 2-meter rig. I think it's 25 or 50 watt. I have everything to do that, or almost everything to do that. I'm also going to be installing a CB. I know that is kind of contraband for ham radio, but I think in the backcountry it might be really useful because, let's face it, CB still is used, and a lot of people have that. So that might be handy. I haven't decided. I will also be taking a radio with me that I can do sideband and also digital with. We'll be taking a laptop, and so that I can be out in the middle of nowhere and have an awesome signal noise ratio and maybe make some contacts. So that's what I've been up to. That's where we're going. I don't have a timeline on any of this, to be honest with you. Well, not that I'd ever be dishonest with you, but I just don't have a timeline. I have a lot going on in my personal life, and as I brought up in another video, I just find more stuff. Holy smokes. Oh, this is my own stuff. I don't even know what I have. Anyway, as I brought out in another video, I recently started writing for Hackaday, and so that takes up a few hours a week, which I really love doing. So my time is spread a little bit more thin, but that also helps fund these things and these projects and perhaps my trip next year and stuff. So it's actually something that pays. So I'm happy about that. Plus, I'd probably do it if they didn't pay me anyway, because it's Hackaday and I've been reading it for years. Anyway, well, thanks for watching this video. If you've gotten this far, then I owe you a reward. So they're a reward of sorts, if you want to call it that. I owe you to fulfill my promise, which was to tell you a story. All right, so let me tell you a story. And sorry for the harsh lighting. I've got my LED lamp, my magnifier, LED magnifier lamp, using it as to light me. It's rather harsh lighting. In fact, maybe I can change the color a little bit here. Ooh, no. That's better. So let me tell you a story. When I was a young person, I lived in Southern California, and I did a lot of computer repair for people. I worked at an office supply store in a pretty affluent town, and I got people who were, they come in to buy stuff at this office supply store in the computer aisle, because naturally I worked in the computer stuff. I was like 17, 18 years old, I think. I was 18 when this happened. And people would say, hey, you've helped me a lot here in the store. Can you come to my house and help me with my computer? And my boss didn't care at the time, and so I could. And I would charge him like $25 an hour or something like that, which when you're 18 is like $1 million. Anyway, and I went to this older folks' home. I say older, I mean, I'm 40, I'll be 45 shortly, and I would have called myself old then, so you can take it with a grain of salt. But they were a retired couple, and they needed help with their computer, and I provided that help. And I got talking with them, and with the fellow, I don't remember any names, this was more than 25 years ago. Anyway, I got talking with the fellow, and we were talking about electronics and just various things. I've always had an interest in electronics, ham radio, of course, and in fact, I wanted to be a pilot back then. I was dead set on going into aviation. And funny enough, one of the favorite things about aviation, like what I was most excited about, was talking on the radio. So I got to talk on the radio without having to become a pilot, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, long story short, this fellow asked if I would be interested in this electronics course that he had. And I was like, yeah. And he showed me this, and it was a Heathkit electronics course, something like 17 or 25 volumes of electronics, a paper electronics course in binders. And I think this was from the mid to late 70s. And so a lot of printed documentation on electronics, and he had done it himself back in the day. And he wanted to give it to me along with, and this is the part that just kills me, along with a Heathkit, a working Heathkit CRT, analog oscilloscope that he built using that course. The whole course was to build the oscilloscope and learn electronics as you go, how everything works in the scope. I was 18, and he said, if you promise to go through this, I will give this to you. On the promise, I would go through the course and learn the electronics. And I promised to, and I had every intention of fulfilling that promise. And then life took a different turn. I ended up having to move, and I ended up having to move to a place where I had to basically throw everything I had owned in the back of my truck and drive 600 miles to go live with my grandparents. My parents weren't together anymore. Our family home got sold, and I ended up giving that stuff to a friend who probably never did anything with it. I couldn't fulfill that promise. And so I've always felt really rotten about that. I'm not somebody who likes to just, especially on something like that, I felt like I was inheriting an heirloom of sorts, and I kind of was. And I've always felt really rotten about not being able to do anything with that. So I I suppose it's a little bit cathartic to be able to do these things now. And some of you guys have given me things that I intend to use, not only because they're really awesome things like the Nano VNA. I mean, come on. And then and one person has said that they are sending me some other things too that will be tremendous. Like, I won't even say what, because I'll face that when I get to it and learn how to use it. But the support I'm receiving here is huge, and I just want to say thank you, genuinely thank you. I can't make any promises about what I can or can't do with anything that somebody might send me. I'll do my best to I'll do my best to honor the gifts that they've been, and I just want to say thank you for all those things, and thank you for all the subscriptions. And again, I'm not looking for handouts. I'm not looking for things for the channel. I certainly don't need more things to do. I've got enough projects to last me this winter and into next year, and as if I keep active, I'll be able to get through them. But I'm hoping to do a project every couple weeks, because some of these projects aren't that big, but some of them are bigger. And I've also got some ideas for some projects coming up. I've also got a custom PCB coming, and I'm going to be doing videos about that. That's for the BitX40 project, the multi-band BitX project. So you're going to see that coming up. I obviously don't have the PCBs in hand, or I'd show you them. But it's for a custom VFO for the BitX project I showed earlier in this video. So there's that. And I've also got some ideas for there's some PCB ideas. They're not. I haven't really thought them out too much yet, but I'll have a lot of work to do designing PCBs for homebrew, and not just for me, but for you and for anybody else who wants to homebrew and maybe learn homebrewing. Again, it's kind of a half-baked idea right now, but it's one I've been kind of mulling around in my head for a couple of years. So if I make any progress on that, you can bet you'll see it here. Let's see, I don't think I have anything else to share, but you'll see things in this channel as they come along. And again, just a huge thank you. And if you've gotten this far watching the video, thank you for just listening to me go on and on and on about this stuff. Anyway, well, I'm going to shut her down for the night. I hope you have a good day or evening or morning or whatever it is, whatever time it is where you are right now. And I hope that you have a peaceful day. And the world is getting pretty crazy, so be kind to others, and it'll come back to you. So 73, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.